Welcome to the Linux Hardening Deconstructed course. My name is Don Brown and I'll guide you through this course. In this course, we'll learn hands-on application of how to secure your Linux server, which in turn protects your organization against the security threats that we see occurring in the world today. Now, there are no course prerequisites for this course, but we do expect that you have a working knowledge of the Linux bash shell or command line interface, as some people like to call it. You need to know the Linux fundamentals, such as how to install Linux, being able to update software using a package manager, the Linux file system architecture, how to move around in it, how to copy files, move files, things like that. How user accounts work and the groups that are created and configured. How to edit files in VI and the nano editors. How to configure firewalls such as UFW, IP tables, and NF tables. Now, again, if you haven't worked on all of these, that's okay. The idea is if you understand the rules and what we're trying to do with them, you're going to be fine. How to work with log files, how to manage cron jobs, and then using SSH to connect to different computers. Security hardening has become one of the hottest topics in the last few years with the rise of ransomware. All too often, beleaguered administrators have had to answer tough questions from management like, are we protected from a ransomware attack? And what would you do if you got hit with some kind of ransomware? Hardening any operating system or device is general in nature, but specific in action. The concepts that work on a Cisco router will also work on a Linux file server, but how they are accomplished are completely different. Linux is the most used operating system for web-facing computers. It runs on approximately 3/4 of the server that make up the cloud. It literally powers the internet. But on a smaller scale, it can be used to create a complete and secure infrastructure for an organization's network. Now, as I was developing this course, the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, the FBI, the NSA, the Australian Cybersecurity Centre, the UK's National Cybersecurity Centre, all released a joint cybersecurity advisory highlighting a global increase in sophisticated, high-impact ransomware incidents against critical infrastructure organizations in 2021. The need to understand this topic is clear and highly important for all organizations. I like to tell my customers that they are all critical infrastructure because they wouldn't be there if they weren't. Now, when I was younger and I was working for a smaller manufacturing company, I remember thinking that threat actors weren't targeting my small little organization. However, as I gained experience, I learned that the threat actors don't need to target you directly. They cast a wide net and you may just get snagged in it. Examples of this are legion surrounding ransomware attacks like WannaCry and NotPetya. Just ask Maersk and Merck. This course will walk through these overarching concepts and the specific steps needed to harden Linux servers. We will discuss techniques specific to different server roles and implementations so you can build and maintain a secure architecture. The goal is to improve your knowledge of Linux security configurations and discover resources to help ensure that your infrastructure is properly secured. The hands-on demonstration in this course will show you how to secure Linux file systems, services, network configuration, system accounting, logging and auditing, access authorization and authentication, AAA, system maintenance, and then we'll talk about malware and SIEM at the end. Now, have you seen those television shows where they show some hacking going on and they have a ton of windows open and they're scrolling information and updating statistics like crazy? There are a few programs on Linux that create that. The one you're looking at is the Hollywood program, and it's on the background of these slides. Check it out. It's completely useless, but it's kind of fun to see. In the next video, we'll talk about the Linux hardening concepts and what they mean.